Mr. Hubbard, I'd like now to take somebody who would like to get into Scientology. How do they go about this?
Well, normally they read books, and they read quite a few books, and they are around and about it for, well, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Well, they're really in Scientology. They will belong to a group and so on. They will get auditing. Their IQ goes up. Their abilities increase. They're more capable in handling their lives. And then somebody decides that he wants to be an auditor. All right, he can go to a school and study this and find out how to be one and so help others.
Now, you mentioned books. You yourself have written a lot of books.
Oh, yes.
Could you give me some titles here?
Well, the earliest book on the subject, of course, is not Scientology, but Dianetics Through Mind. And this book, that's the background of all of this. That's what started all the trouble. A psychiatric textbook publisher knew that I had been studying in the field of man, and knew I had been studying ethnology and anthropology, two very tough words which merely mean study of what man does and has done. And he asked me if I wouldn't please write a textbook that gave the various things which I had found and discovered. And we expected this to sell about 6,000 copies, and I was, in actual fact, going to go to Greece to head an expedition. And I was all set to go and so on, and this textbook was published. And it hit the top of the bestseller list of the New York Times, and it just stayed there month in, month out. And that was 15 years ago, and this book still sells as a bestseller every year.
What was this called?
Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health.
Now, why did the name change?
Because Dianetics is through mind, do you see, and is in essence actually a mental study. Scientology had to be broadened because it was more firmly established that man was a spirit after that, and you couldn't go along with the same word.
Now, when was this book published?
1950, May the 9th, 1950.
And is that as old as Scientology or Scientology Dianetics is?
Yes, yes. Well, actually, no. Researches on this really started in university in 1930, 31, and moved on forward. The first major discovery that life, all forms of life, behaved according to the principle of survival and so forth was made in 1938, and after the war, after some years of study, I was able to move it up into a publishable form. But I was actually known for many years for working in this particular field, but I never wrote anything about it, never published anything, never told anybody about it to amount to anything. And when I did, it was like I started an avalanche.
¿Querés conocer más acerca de Cienciología? Contáctate. Te esperamos.